Hey guys, Mike Friedman with the Florida Reptile Ranch here. Today I want to go over, what do I do when a ball python has rectal prolapse. I don't know if someone's done a video about this before or not, or if everyone just knows what to do, but if you can see with this little guy, not doing so good there. So I'll go through now and show you how I fix this. Alright, so basically I use a probe. Any smooth object with a rounded end would do just fine. Doesn't have to be sterile, obviously. The rectum of a snake or any animal isn't a sterile environment, so I just clean it off. I usually soak them in water, which is this tub here, for a day before I do this. Try to get any valve movements, any feces in the rectum out. It'll make this process a little bit easier. Just kind of clean the area off a little bit. I'm actually going to take them to the sink and rinse this off a little bit. As you can see, there's urate stuck. Alright, so if you can see now, we have just a cleaned up area, obviously prolapsed there. So what I like to do is just, this is obviously just too large to physically manipulate back in. So I'm going to stick the probe through there into the rectum and try to hold the tissue from the outside, hold it in place while I pull out the probe. And this can take some time. I've never let a ball python just sit like this and hope that will heal on its own. So I don't even know what would happen if we just left it. My guess is it would probably get infected over time and rot away and probably kill the snake. So I like to get a bucket of cold water here. This is just from my refrigerator to help tighten the tissue, contract the tissue a little bit. And I'll often soak it in there for a minute before I start, and then intermittently while I go through the process. I'm trying to be as careful as I can. This guy's, you'll have to kind of push the sides of the tissue in as well sometimes. Try to get this close here. I can zoom in. This is So as you can see, I'll just slide this in gently, careful not to push through anything. Kind of hold it down in place with my thumb and pull out. Use this cold water to chill the stick, and as you can see, as I push this in, you can see it's already a lot less of it is out there. And either I'll hold it here and pull that out, or I'll hold it underneath. And like I said, sometimes the surrounding areas need to be pushed in a little bit. Very gently. Back into place, and then once we get it all back inside eventually, then we can manipulate the tissue a little bit more. You gotta be careful when pushing on the tissue not to puncture anything, because that's why I like to use a pretty wide probe, much wider than I would use to actually probe the snake. I mean, this probe's the same diameter as the base of his tail there. I apologize if I've been doing some of this outside the camera screen, but try to go pretty quickly. I've done this a few times because, doing this is going to cause irritation and inflammation, which is going to increase the swelling and make this task even more difficult. Another reason for the cold water. And I keep dunking the probe into the cold water to clean it off. And here's an update. Better. Like I said, it's going to take some time. Probably soak that in cold water for a second. Help keep the swelling down. And then when I get this all finished up, I'll make sure to put them in a tub with just damp paper towels so nothing sticks to the area. Now I'm just soaking the area in cold water for a minute. There's a little bit of bleeding from irritation. Right, so this is after about probably 30 or 40 minutes of doing this. So you're finally starting to get somewhere. We should be almost done now. So once everything's all the way back in, I'll typically just do a little manual manipulation here, a little massage. Run my fingers. You can see there's been some trauma here. I mean, it's pretty. The hole's pretty wide there, the opening. So I won't feed this guy for probably 2 weeks, and then when I do, for a snake this size, I'll just give it like a little hopper, even a fuzzy the first time, mouse fuzzy, to make sure that there's not a large meal going through this lumen, the rectum. I'll just try to massage this down a little bit, see if I can get everything just back into place. And it looks good. It was a hassle, took some time, definitely not a fun process, but probably saved the snake. The bad thing is with this one, I fed him before I noticed that this was like this, and it actually ate. So there's a mouse in there, and hopefully that's not going to just ruin all the work I just did, but we'll see. There you go. This guy's definitely not happy now, so I'll put him back in a tub with some damp paper towels, and should do okay. Thanks for watching, guys.